And we are live, guys. How you doing today? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. Um, yeah, I'm here with Inti.
Hello, everyone.
He's going to be checking the comment section and
As always.
as always, and looking for questions to answer at the end of this video presentation, where we're going to be talking about why I do not have any basically standard assets or, or or conventional assets. Is one of my lawyers once said, why don't you have any conventional assets? And like, and and also we're going to be talking about Grin as well. And now let's just go over a little bit of price action in Bitcoin, because a lot has happened there in the last little while. Not a whole lot, but we know that there's been a little bit of dumpy action.
Everyone loves to watch the BTC chart.
Yeah, exactly. So let's take a look at the BTC chart first. As you know, we've broken out of the wedge, right, that we were talking about the other day. Unfortunately, we broke into the downside, and we've touched the 78.6, bounced off of it, but right now the bounce has not been very, very strong. That's not a good sign. We're on the 4-hour, way away from the 13 EMA. We might come back and test it a bit, but I really think that we're going to fall away from that. So if we do come up here, we come probably up closer to this at the wedge, the entry of the wedge here, and then fall back down again. We are over. If you look at the Willy, we are almost in the stupid area, and the RSI is way oversold. So I would not be shocked if we get a bounce here. It's unfortunate we don't have any kind of divergence except for a right here. But in order for this divergence to really confirm and say, yeah, it's probably going to go to new highs, we have to see it break this level here. So if I were to make this thing bigger, basically the histogram here on the MACDs has to break this high in order for us to see, let's see here, for us to see that this thing is going to go a lot higher. So it's got to come all the way back up here. So that's a little bit of a low probability. That's a long shot, a long move up. Of course, if Bitcoin goes sideways, it could make this move up here a lot easier, but that's only if Bitcoin goes sideways. So don't expect it to happen anytime soon. Now this is Bitcoin. Anything can happen, so be careful. I would not get into any kind of shorts here. Your short was right here if you wanted to take the chance on the breakdown, and of course your profit taking was definitely here, since this was a definite trade location for profit taking, which we mentioned in another video. So with that said, that's it for today on price action. Let's head over to let's talk about gold and my portfolio. Basically, and one of the things, the reason why I buy gold, silver, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrencies is because I have possession of it. If you hold stocks and bonds, you're not in possession of it at all. Zero. That's not yours. It's actually the broker's in most cases. And if you have it in your retirement fund, it's even worse. Because at any point in time, the government could go, yeah, that's all ours right now, and sorry. So I can't live with that kind of uncertainty in the system, especially when we know that governments are corrupt. We know that governments don't do anything to help the people. So why would you give them access at a press of a button to take all your money? That's for me, that just seems dumb, right? And also another reason why I own assets that I can physically hold is because at any point in time, I call up my group of friends. I have like a group of people that I could sell those assets to for cash, for the local currency immediately. Try doing that with your stocks. Try doing that with your bonds. You can't call up your friends and say, "Hey, I got this bond here, and I want to dump it on you. I want to sell it to you." No, that's not going to happen. You could say, "Oh, you could say, well, yeah, I could get a stock certificate." Yeah, good luck. Try calling your broker and see what they tell you, right? There's almost zero likelihood that you'll be able to get a hold of the stock certificate. And that's reason why. Now, another reason why is that, think about this for a second, right? If you have any retirement fund, right, you're getting it tax-free, right? You're investing in tax-free. You're like, yeah, man, I'm tax-free. You're feeling good. You're feeling hyped, right? You're tax-free, putting all that money in there. Now, can I ask you a very, very simple question? You will be taxed. You know that you will be taxed when you take that money out when you're retirement, right? You understand that? Yes, right? Now, quick question. I'm going to ask you, Inti.
Okay.
Do you believe taxes are going to be lower or higher in the future?
Higher, of course. I mean.
So let me get this straight.
Okay.
You're putting all this money into your retirement fund, tax-free, which is going to be taxed later when you're older, or when you're retired, at a higher tax rate? Is that what I'm getting at?
That's how it works. Sadly, that's how it works.
So, think about that. All your work is going to be stolen from you at a higher rate in the future. I don't think so, buddy. Not for me. This is why I own physical assets. Because now I could go out, let's just say I just want to have a simple life. I want to just, just live quietly and have enough to eat, have enough to pay the rent and all that kind of stuff. Well, with gold and silver, right, and assets that I own directly, I can do that without the government knowing that I'm doing that. I can collect a check from the government trying to survive, and then bit by bit sell off my gold and silver or my Bitcoin and crypto assets into the market to buy whatever I need, right? And so I could survive a simple life because they don't need to know that I've sold off. Like I sold 1 ounce of gold, I sold 1 ounce of silver, or I sold 1/100th of a Bitcoin, right? They don't need to know that. And I could survive, I could live without the government taking from me, stealing from me through taxation. Because I'm just trying to survive here. And they want to steal from me. They want to steal the money that I've worked so hard for in order to survive in my retirement, in my elderly years. I don't think so.
That's why crypto is so popular, right?
Yeah.
Because you can escape from that.
Exactly.
You can have an alternative that you didn't have before.
Exactly.
I mean, you have gold and silver, but that's it.
Exactly. And now we have an alternative that, let's just say, for example, the government that you live with becomes tyrannical and starts killing people off, or let's just say they don't kill people off. Let's just say they just become like Venezuela, for example, right? Which is pretty bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could actually leave your country and act like you're walking away with nothing with your Bitcoin because they don't know you have Bitcoins. You have it in your brain. You have it on a USB key, whatever. And you go, well, I'm just, flying out here, right? I'm just going on vacation, right? I'm back. And then you could leave with all your wealth intact with crypto, such as Bitcoin, and then start a new life somewhere else instantly. Do you know how hard? There's been so many stories about people trying to escape Germany before World War II, and I've heard stories of people trying to escape with all their wealth. And the one Jewish person was clever. He took all his gold, he sold everything and put it into gold, and he turned the gold into hangers. Right? He got somebody to melt the gold, put it inside of a hanger, and and in his suitcase, the hangers were holding his jackets and suits, and nobody was the wiser. But not everybody has the skills and the mindset to do that, right?
Not.
Exactly.
I can't do something like that.
Exactly. So this is what makes the problem with gold is that it's really difficult to transport out of the country. And I want you to know something about America. You guys, have you ever visited America? You've visited, right?
Yes.
Now, what happens when you try to when you're leaving through the airport?
Mm-hmm.
What do you go through?
The security, you mean?
Yeah, the security. What is this? How does security goes through? What happens when you go through the security?
I don't know.
Talk me through. Like, pretend you're explaining to somebody that has never seen the American security before, right? What happens at the the airport?
Okay, you have to go to like 2 checkpoints when they check your papers. Then you have to not get naked, but you have to get almost everything out except for the pants and the t-shirt. Then all your electronic devices apart, all your metals apart, all your luggage apart, X-ray like 360, then a physical check.
Do you get X-rayed?
Yes, of course. And then you're free to go.
Okay.
And if you stay too long, they arrest you.
Okay. So, do you know the reason why they have these checkpoints is so that you don't leave the country with gold in the future. They've told you this for the terrorists, but no, really, it's so that in the future, when the dollar collapses, you ain't leaving with the gold. Hells no. There's no chance in heck you're going to be leaving with any kind of precious metals from the United States. And it's by design. So, I mean, I never travel across the United States with precious metals because you're guaranteed that they're going to try to take it from you, practically. I mean, it's too dangerous. It's the worst place. And besides, you know what? They have the laws on the books that they could just go, yeah, that's ours.
and if they don't, they do it anyways.
Exactly. And there's no recourse. So that's everybody knows about it. It's asset forfeiture, right? If you don't, oh my God, where have you been? Right? If you just look it up, right, on YouTube, there's been jokes about it and stuff like that. Where now the United States is the third world country, where because they just steal your money and there's no recourse. But anyways, it's something you have to see. It's very funny, especially if John Oliver's show. You have to Google that. Right, it was an excellent explanation of civil asset forfeiture, and it was very funny. So Google that and check that out. Anyways, yeah. So this is why I own all these assets, right? These non-conventional assets, because you know what? I don't trust the government. I remember being told by my accountant. Right? When I first opened up a business, I was 27 years old. And I was like opening up the business and actually it was younger. Jesus. Yeah, that's right. I knew David Good like when I was 21 actually. Damn. Okay. So I was talking to David, my accountant, and he told me that the CPP, which is a Canadian pension plan. He said, that's just a tax, right? You understand that? He goes, I go, what? Don't expect that money. The government spent it. It's gone. What? You don't understand. That money's gone. You're not getting it, right? And I was shocked. And it's so true. If you think you have Social Security coming to you, if you think you have the Canadian retirement plan coming to you, think again. That's gone. There is no money. They only have a printing press. And that's what their money is. And they'll probably pay it for you, but it's not going to have any value. So consider that, right? When you think that you've got retirement money coming to you from your government, it ain't coming to you. You got nothing. Zero, goose egg. So that's when that's part of the reason why I'm going to retire with gold and silver and cryptocurrencies in my hands. Okay, well, with that said, right, I hope you guys learned something from that. I hope you guys, I want you to know that I'm not telling you to go and sell all your retirement fund, even though that's what I did. I remember once I realized what was going on, I was like, yeah, everything was sold. I took the tax penalty and I went straight into gold and silver. Because, screw it, right? I'm going to pay the taxes anyways. Might as well pay a lower tax rate than a higher one.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, glad you had the choice to abandon your retirement fund. Because, for example, here you can't do that.
I know, exactly.
It's obligatory.
Yeah, at least you get to control what stocks you can go into here in Chile somewhat. It would help if you're Chilean, you can. You have to be a foreigner in order to be able to go and buy stocks in all parts of the world with your retirement account in Chile. I haven't done that. I should. It's just that I don't expect a lot out of the stock market, but I guess I should since I'm forced into it. And if I were to if I have to buy something, I guess I'd buy the gold miners, right, and or the GDX and stuff like that, because and eventually those things were going to just go nuclear, right? So you know what? Thanks, India, for reminding me about that. Because as a foreigner, I get to choose any stock of anywhere in the world, whilst Chileans only get to choose stocks here in Chile. So, okay, well, let's move on to Grin. Right, recently, somebody has created an application which is basically this is a node, a Grin node, a full Grin node that's basically acts as a sniffer to figure out not who exactly, just their account. This account sent this amount of money to that account over there. That's what it does. Just like you can see on a Bitcoin blockchain, you can see from account A, money went from account A to account B. You can see that on the blockchain. Now, Grin was designed with that being obfuscated, but this person has broken that obfuscation, and he's able to read 96% of all transactions to figure out from where it was coming from to where it was going to. It was designed with plausible deniability, meaning that it was all the coins were grouped together and then sent to multiple people, and so it was difficult to figure out who it was sent to. The only time you would have a problem is if you were the only transaction in a particular block. Now, obviously, in the future that would grow, but now that's not the case. With this sniffer, you could actually figure out 96% of all transactions. And of course, if you read through this documentation, he also mentioned that you can get up to 99% 0.9% if you if you create like over 3,000 nodes. Of course, that requires a lot of work, but you know it's can governments can do that, of course. So it's unfortunate that Grin has this hole. Hopefully that they will be able to fix this sometime soon. But it looks like it hasn't affected the price at all. You could say, well, look, it's coming back down. Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, I expected this to come back down to if not to 61.8, down to 78.6. And yeah, with this bad news, look out for the 88.6 as a buy zone. Now, this does not end Grin at all. It is just stability. It just works to like similar to Bitcoin. Now, it doesn't show you how much money is being transferred, of course, but it does show you from money's being transferred from one person to another. So that's that. That's the new hole in Grin, and let's see what the developers do in order to patch that hole. Yeah. So if you're going to buy, I suggest you buy pretty much at the 78.6 to the 88.6 and leave it at that. So yeah, that's it. All right, now moving right along to the next part of our videos is the questions and answers.
Yes.
Right, so let's see what people have come up with questions and questions that they want to know about Bitcoin.
Okay, about Bitcoin you want. Okay, Ajob Bell asks, is there any possibilities that Bitcoin can go below 6K this year?
Yes, obviously. There's a possibility that I could go below 6K. There's lots of the price action generally does not like to leave a V bottom. It likes to go and create a W. So don't be surprised if Bitcoin comes all the way down to 4,000, because it should have came back when it hit the 6,000 level. It should have rolled back into the 4,000 level, and then moved up, and then that would have created a permanent bottom that we weren't going to go back and test, because it did go straight up and create a V bottom. It created a probability that we're going to come back to the 4,000 level. Are we going to do it? Who knows? I think we could probably going to go sideways here. I really think that we should go sideways here until the end of the year, but who knows? We might not, and we might see 6,000 before the end of the year. Let's just wait and see. It's all up to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can hold the bottom, the current bottom, local bottom of 7,300, right? Will we see Bitcoin go higher, or at least stay sideways for a while, and then try to create a W action to go higher? So let's just see what happens. Right now, looking at the charts, things don't look so good. All right, next question.
Okay. Okay. Billion asks, Davinci, how do you suggest people to safely store gold and silver if crisis come? Those are extremely difficult to carry with you.
Yes, it is. That's why cryptocurrencies are better. But keep in mind, you can always sell them for cryptocurrencies as you try to leave, right? Because whenever a crisis comes, generally, it's not like overnight, like all of a sudden, okay, you can't go anywhere, can't do anything. No, of course you see things happening, and you make changes to your lifestyle in order to move. Like, for example, just like that person who saw that, hey, wait a minute, Jews are being persecuted, and this doesn't look good, so I got to get out of here, right? So you're going to see it coming, right? And so you will be able to sell your gold into crypto and move. So I think gold and silver is the more safer asset to hold than gold than Bitcoin, because obviously it doesn't, it's not as volatile. Now, with that said, there's more reward for holding Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So that's that.
This question has to do with the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Seb Clay asks, how is Bitcoin better if governments can track it and tax it?
Well, they can track it somewhat, right? They can't track it very well. So, for example, let's just say you purchased the Bitcoin off the street for somebody that a bunch of people that you are known. That transaction, they don't know that you got it. It's only when you go and sell it to, for example, let's just say you bought some plane tickets. Obviously, the government's going to know that you bought plane tickets with your Bitcoins, and then be able to link the previous person to you, and that's your Bitcoin. Maybe, because keep in mind, you've got plausible deniability, because maybe you didn't buy the plane tickets. Maybe somebody else did. So yeah, I mean, as long as you didn't create an account on the website with your name to buy the tickets, I guess you have plausible deniability there. So yeah, that's one thing. All you have to do is just keep yourself anonymous as you possibly can by finding people that's going to trade Bitcoins with you. Join your local group of Bitcoiners and cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Head over to the meetups and stuff in your local area, and talk to people. And you'll find people that are willing to trade with you. So yeah, and then you've got a means of obfuscating your transactions just from that. And so you could always go to cash and then go buy your plane ticket, is one way, but probably not the best idea, because the government's going to go, okay, well, where did you get the cash, right? And so yeah, I mean, you could just always just buy stuff, local stuff, like you buying your iPhones or your food or whatever, groceries and basic items that that are not really that linked to you. And so that's one way to live outside the government control, because we need to, you have to do it, or else your life is going to be destroyed, because it's by design.
That's true. Off topic, or we continue?
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever you choose.
What's the best hardware wallet, if possible?
Well, I haven't used every single hardware wallet yet. I'm going to be doing a video review of a set of wallets. So why don't you wait for that review, and then I could tell you which wallet is really the best. So just look out for that review.
Okay. So is Dash still one of your favorite coins?
Dash, yes, it is one of my favorite coins. I hope that they one day are able to basically put what's it called, security first, basically. What they do, what the problem is, right, with security model on Dash, is that you have to select it first and say, hey, you know what, I want to obfuscate my transaction. And that's good and all, but consider this, right? Let's just say you wanted to have privacy in the bank not seeing your face, and you walk into the bank with a mask. Kind of looks bad.
Kind of looks like you're going to get arrested.
And so the same thing could happen in the future, where, hey, you know what, I want to obfuscate my transactions, and it's just gonna look bad if everybody else is not, right? So that's why I think privacy as a default should be one of those key features that any cryptocurrency has, and that's my thought on it.
Let's see.
Next question.
Next question. Which crypto is the most private?
Which crypto is the most private? I believe it's Monero and Zcash are the two of the most private currencies out there. I actually, I'm not 100% sure. I just heard from other people that they are, and I haven't looked at it myself, so I can't tell you for sure. So
the last one was from Mafia. Sorry.
Okay, next question.
Next question. Alicia Amiga asked, Davinci, have you ever suffered prejudice in Chile? How is pronounced this word?
Prejudice. Prejudice.
Okay.
No. Probably because I don't notice those things that very well. Because I just ignore it. and move on because it's not important to me. But because everybody should be allowed to be prejudiced, in my point of view, you should be allowed to because you do like, for example, I'm prejudiced of government. I think immediately, if you're a government official, I think you're a criminal immediately, unless I prove you wrong. Somehow you prove me wrong. So that's a form of prejudice, right? Now, what I've noticed here, unfortunately, though, is that Chileans are more prejudiced against other Chileans than they are prejudiced against foreigners. So, for example, I remember when I first came here, I started working at a gym, and I forgot my wallet, and I needed to get a bottle of water, and the person who was working at the gym said, "Oh, no problem. Here, just pay me back tomorrow when you come, right?" And I'm like, "Wow, thanks. That's appreciated." And then she told me that, "Yeah, I know you're gonna come back and pay me because you're a foreigner. If you're a Chilean, no, there's no way." She actually said that. And I was like, "Wow, unbelievable." Other people have told me that it was true, but I actually saw it firsthand, and I couldn't believe it.
What did I miss?
What?
What did I miss?
Oh yeah, I was just telling the story about how somebody was actually thinking that I would be more honest than a Chilean. So, anyways, yeah, I was shocked, and then I was hanging around with lots of Chileans, and every time I'd go to a grocery store, right, they have security guards there. Then they'd watch you watch people. Sometimes they'd check people's bags, right? But every time I went through it, they never checked my bags, right? It was only when I had this Chilean with me that they stopped me and checked everything that I had. I'm like, "What's up with that?" And the Chilean guy said, "Yeah, it's because I'm here, right? That's why they want to check your bags." And I was like, "Damn, that's just wrong," right? So yeah, it's that kind of deal here. I mean, there was one time. Now that I think about it, I was in the grocery store, and I was with my girlfriend, and I was watching. I was sitting and I was at the cart, and she had her purse there, and then the security guard came up to her and said, "Hey, you can't leave your purse by itself." And she's like, looked at him and goes, "He's with me and he's watching it. So what are you talking about?" So that was the only time I could think of that there was prejudice. But again, it's just silliness, right? I mean, who cares, right? I laughed at that. Those things, right? If you want to be stupid enough, fine. I'm letting you. I agree with. I support your ability to be prejudiced. All right. So next, who's this person who gave me a $5 donation?
This is M. O'Brien.
Okay.
Okay, he says, thanks for answering my Harvard Wallet question. Have a cerveza.
Oh, thank you, thank you very much. I will. Okay, let's have one more question, and then we're gonna end the stream.
One more question. You want it off topic or you want it about cryptocurrencies?
Might as well keep it on topic. So.
Off topic?
On
topic. Okay. Okay. So.
What do you got for me?
Okay, Taton asks, Davinci, in 1971 they gave up the gold-backed currency system because it wasn't sustainable. Why do you think Bitcoin could work this time if it has all the drawback of the gold, unlimited supply? You're funny, dude. You know what? You're saying that it was unsustainable. That's like saying, okay, yeah, you know what? I've got a system where I'm not allowed to take too much drugs because I might die, right? But I don't believe I'm gonna die. I think they're lying to me. I want more drugs, so I'm gonna prevent that system from. I'm gonna break that system and say, yeah, I want more drugs. I'm gonna get more drugs. Well, that's what that's the best analogy you could use.
Exactly. That's what breaking the gold standard is like. It's like because you're able to print money more. The gold standards prevents you from printing more money, and breaking and you know what, destroying the value of money. And so now you've broken away from the gold standard so that you can print more money. It's just like going, yeah, man, I can do more drugs. Well, printing money is like a drug addiction. You can get more stuff. like really? It's not sustainable. It was designed to prevent you from cheating the system and stealing people's money. That's what the gold standard's for. It's from prevent governments from stealing the public's money. Don't you get that? And now the government broke it so that they can steal people's money. It was not because it was unsustainable. It was sustainable if the government lived within its means. But since governments can't live within their means, they had to break the gold standard. Like, that's it.
He replied, what about the growth?
What about the what?
What about the growth?
The growth of what?
He says that there was no growth anymore.
Well, no. You see, you don't. The growth. When you expand the money supply, you have artificial growth, right? And so when that growth, like for example, let's just say I get a bunch of money free, given to me free, and I'm able to create a business that is not sustainable. I have a bunch of employees, right? And the business is not earning money. It's not something that the public really, really wants. And so that seems like growth because you have more employees, you have people spending money, you have all that kind of stuff. But that's not growth because that's not what the economy needs. And so when you stop providing that money, that liquidity, to the bad businesses, that basically shrinks the economy because you need to get rid of all those bad businesses in the economy that don't need to exist. And so that seems like that the economy is shrinking, but it's not. It's actually reallocating the wealth to people who do produce something valuable. So for example, let's just say you're running a business that's very profitable against a business that's not profitable, and then there's a economic contraction. You're going to survive the economic contraction and be able to hire all those employees to help grow your business. Now, if you just print more money and give it to the business that's losing money, that's destroying economic growth, Now the person who's actually building a real business can't expand because all that labor is being used up in a wrong form, in a means that's not profitable, in a means that not only profitable but also expanding our wealth in total. Because what's happening is that's destroying wealth. The bad business is destroying wealth, not creating wealth. Now, it's okay if you took your own money, right, and created a bad business that didn't work. But when you take money that's been printed through debt or through government, you're just destroying economic activity, right? And that's why you see a shrinking of the economy whenever there's a contraction. It's basically the destruction, the actual very needed destruction of bad economic activity. For example, if Netflix were to collapse, that would be a good thing. If Uber were to collapse, that would be a good thing because they're not profitable. They're not. So they're not providing a good at a price that they could actually exist. If people stop investing in them, those go away, and only businesses, like for example, do you think there are probably an Uber-like business or a Netflix-like business that does make profit? They should gain all the assets from Netflix and Uber because they're not profitable, because they know how to actually make a business, and for example, to that people want at in a means that actually grows the business and does not steal from the public, because that's what it is. That's what it is really, what Netflix is doing and what Uber's doing. They're just stealing money from investors to give to you as the consumer. So when you use Netflix, when you use Uber, you need to thank all the different investors out there, because they are actually subsidizing your use of those actual products, and say thank you for giving me a discount on Uber and Netflix, basically, because that's what's happening.
I didn't know about that.
Because that's basically what's happening. And when you buy a what's it called, a Tesla car, you need to thank all those investors, especially Chris. I mean, Chris, he went loading the boat on Tesla. I'm like, you need to thank him if you own a Tesla, because he's subsidizing your ability to buy a Tesla car because they're not profitable, right? So you need to thank all those investors, because you're getting an asset, a valuable asset, at a less at a cost, at a less price than it should be, basically. And you need to get, those guys are giving you the discount. All the investors are just giving you a discount, basically. So that kind of thing has to stop. We have to stop investing in businesses that can't possibly make profits. Anyways, that's my rant for today. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, everyone, for watching my video today. Really appreciate it. So, see you when I see you.
See you guys.
All right, take it easy. We're going to end the stream today.